Hogmanay, which means the January transfer window opens tomorrow. Clubs can finally sign players again. The rumours are flying left, right and centre. They have been for a while. They're just getting more and more at the minute. Sillier and sillier as the rumours go by. Fans across the country are writing their wish list of players they'd love to see their club sign, setting themselves up for nothing but disappointment when the window closes as well. And David Moyes has been speaking about it. In this video is reacting about what David Moyes has said about the upcoming transfer window, sparked by social media. Now, when I say social media in videos, I often say social media says this, social media says. I'm referring to Twitter. I only use Twitter. I don't have Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. I've only got Twitter. So in future videos, if I say social media, just assume it's Twitter. So anyway, last night on Twitter, there was a snippet from David Moyes which was doing the rounds, and there was fans reacting to it. Some positive, some negative, some happy, some concerned, and everything in the middle. But essentially what David Moyes said, got the pink book out for this one. It says, do we want to act? Yes. Are we ready to? Probably not. Now, on its own, it does sound a little bit negative, doesn't it? It does sound a little bit disappointing. And I think this is the problem between social media and other forms of media, whether it's online reading or even YouTube to some extent, because we obviously have to clickbait that title. That title down there probably called it reacting to David Moyes' transfer words or something. I don't know, transfer window thoughts or something like that. You've got to make it clickbaity. So you see the title and think, ooh, I'll have a listen to this. What's this about? I'll see what he's saying about that. And you click on it and you listen to it. So job done as far as I'm concerned, because you've got this far. So I've obviously done the title good, right? But with social media, you've got to do the same thing with the idea that people will then click on the link and read the article for themselves. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work on social media, does it? You see the title, which is, do we want to act? Yes. Are we ready to? Probably not. And you react to that. You don't click on it and read the rest of what David Moyes has said, because I think the rest of it is quite important. It's taken out of context and people have reacted to it. Anyway, I don't know why. I just thought I'd give you the story as to why I'm doing this video and why I clicked on it and read it. And I thought, what's the problem here then? But anyway, let's start with that quote on its own, that isolated quote. I think he's managing expectations, that's all. I think there's probably an element of truth to it, but that's no surprise. You know, David Moyes at Everton was titled Dithering Dave for how long it takes in the transfer window. It's not me that's giving him that. Sometimes people in the videos say, why have you called him I never call him Dithering Dave. Everton fans call it. I just copied them. I'm just stealing their ones. So he'd often get called it. And to be fair, in the past, we have been a little bit slow. Sometimes we get business done quick, but not often. You know, the transfer deadline, we were active in the summer transfer deadline, for example. Vlasic was a late signing. Alex Crowell was a late signing. So there's an element of truth to that. Are we ready? Probably not. I think there's probably an element, but I think that makes on like we don't know who we want or anything. And I'm not so sure that's the case. I think he probably does know who he wants. I think Rob Newman knows exactly who David Moyes wants as well. The case, I think when Moyes says, I think Moyes is suggesting that we perhaps can't get that player out of the club. And he goes on to say something which I think is particularly interesting. And the best thing to take from the article, or David Moyes' words, I think, in my opinion, gives a little insight of what Moyes is thinking ahead of the summer transfer window, actually, but also the January transfer window is perhaps not good for next month, but better for the summer. I'll tell you what he said in a minute. Just to interrupt you a minute, because I've got a bonus quote here. There it is. It's not from David Moyes, it's from Gonzo. Gonzo says, download the OneFootball app. This video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. This is the best place to keep up with the transfer rumours, and we're not even lying, it really is. Myself and Gonzo use it every single day of the year. Even when they're not sponsoring us, we're still using it, and it's completely free. Links in the description, so get it downloaded to your phone. And tomorrow, when West Ham take on Crystal Palace with a 5:30 kickoff, at 4:30 you'll get a notification on your phone, assuming when it says who's your favourite club, you click West Ham or Crystal Palace. You get a notification on your phone that says team lineups. You click on it, it tells you what formation each team will be playing, who's playing, and who's playing where as well. It really is a fantastic app. Massive thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring us for most of 2021. And guess what? Good news. They're sponsoring us for a couple of months in 2022 as well. Massive thank you to OneFootball, and massive thank you to you guys that have downloaded it so far. And if you haven't, you're missing out. If you don't believe me, the only way to find out is by downloading yourself. Link in description. Anyway, enough of that. Back to talk about David Moyes. Normally, I'm a little bit impatient. I don't have patience. And this is away from like videos and stuff and away from West Ham. Just in life, I don't have patience. I could order something online. I want it on my front door in an hour. If it says be here in 2 weeks or a week, I'm like, you what? I could walk and get it quicker than that. I'm just not a very patient person. Flat pack DIY is like hell to me. I get this like body heat that I've only ever experienced when trying to do flat pack furniture or something. It's DIY stuff. I call it prickly heat. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but there'll be some people watching this that'll be thinking, I know exactly what you mean, don't worry. If I'm trying to do something, it's not working after about 3 attempts, I feel rage. I feel anger building up. Prickly heat commences. So usually I'm quite impatient. But for the transfer window, I find myself unusually calm. I think it's because I've taken a look at the fixtures actually in January. And now usually the last transfer window, not the last one, the one before Moyes' first one, when I signed Bonus check that one. And under Pellegrini's first hand, I don't know. Yeah, not under Pellegrini. Under Slaven Bilic when we first moved to London, we're usually in a relegation battle. So when the January transfer window comes, it's like, please, can you sign players? And also, can you offload him and him, please? Can you please do this? We've got games coming up. We need them in ASAP. I don't have that sense of urgency about me this year because I had a look at the fixture. Now, we can write off Palace. I know it's in January, but there's just no way there's a player coming in for the Palace. Write that one off. That leaves 3 games. Just 3 games. Leeds in the Cup, Leeds in the League, and Man United. Now, them 2 Leeds fixtures come first. I don't think we need a new player. Would I like one? Yes. But I don't think it's crucial. I expect the squad we've got available now, today, to beat Leeds United in the FA Cup and the Premier League. I expect that. The only other fixture in there is Man United, which is on the 22nd of January. It'd be nice to have a new signing or signings in ahead of that game. Around about the 12th of January or something would be ideal, so they've got plenty of time with the squad. However, I think there's a little bit of time on David Moyes and West Ham's side for the January transfer window. And I say a little bit, I mean 2 weeks. That's about it. It's only a month long, but half that window, until we're halfway, I think we're actually okay to just make sure we get it right. There's no desperation. I think Moyes was suggesting this as well. He's not desperate this time. Interestingly, he spoke about other clubs not being desperate. He said last year clubs were desperate for cash because of the hit from COVID, that some clubs were screaming out for money. Now obviously we didn't take advantage of that because we're going to sign Jesse Lingard on loan, that was it. I think he was maybe referring to us in the sense that we sold Sebastian Haller for, a reasonable, well, it was quite cheap, weren't it, in comparison to what we paid. We took a big hit in Sebastian Haller. So when he spoke about clubs being desperate for money, I think he was actually referring to West Ham United as well as other clubs in the Premier League perhaps. But one thing he said that was interesting, when he said he's probably not ready, he said not resources, more but availability. So the players that he wants perhaps aren't available. Now we've heard this before, and I don't like it all the time. In the summer, particularly when he was asked about signing a striker, he just said there wasn't anyone available. I didn't really believe it. I thought, well, that's not true, is it? I still think he was wrong in the summer. But with this one, I don't know why. I just got more benefit of the doubt to David Moyes on this one. And I think it's because he goes on to say something perhaps a little bit more interesting. He says he's got a player in mind, but the club won't sell until summer. Now, there's a key word here, and that is sell. That rules out Sam Johnson, James Tarkowski, Matthias Ginter, the players that we've been linked with. Jesse Lingard rules him out. So the players we've been linked with whose contracts are running down, it rules them out because Moyes has said sell. Not they're unavailable till the summer, i.e. we'll pinch them on a free, we don't need to pay for them. Sell. That would indicate he's got like a big transfer target, if you like, in mind, but you can't get him in January because the club won't do that. Interestingly, now I may be putting 2 and 2 together, but there's one player we've been linked with quite a bit who we know is leaving in the summer for a fee. Jonathan David. Jonathan David's agent has said that he will see the season out at Lille. He's not going in January, he's seeing the season out, but he's going to move on in the summer. We've essentially had confirmation that Jonathan David is moving in the summer to someone. It's tipped to be Arsenal, by the way, just to manage expectations. Arsenal were believed to be the front runners. And now here we have David Moyes saying there's someone he wants, but he can't get him until the summer. Club won't sell. I may be putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5 here, but I just thought it was interesting. Perhaps a little bit worrying because we've been in this situation before with Youssef En-Nesyri. Last January we wanted En-Nesyri. We tried to get En-Nesyri to replace Sebastian Haller. Moyes confirmed there was a bid that got rejected, but we didn't pursue him again in the summer. We couldn't change his mind and get him to come to the Premier League. So it felt that last year in January, or I say last year, this year, final day of the year but we're still in the same year. It felt like in January went after this player and decided to wait till summer and didn't get him anyway, and the remaining of January we didn't pursue anyone else because we believe that we could maybe get En-Nesyri in the summer instead. And I just hope we're not doing the same mistake here, which is I want that player, can't get him to the summer, that's fine, well I'll save my money and go get him in the summer, which means we don't get anyone in the meantime, and then in the summer you're chasing shadows again a little bit. I just hope we're not a way to get stuck with the same thing, the use of En-Nesyri saga. But certainly Moyes' comments are suggesting that someone he's targeted, but we can't get him for the summer, which is particularly interesting. But he does also say that he expects to be active. He wants to be active. He obviously refers to the signings of Jesse Lingard, Thomas Souček and Jared Bowen, January signings in the past. Obviously he refers to Jesse again, saying he wants to get someone in that can make a difference like Jesse Lingard. Upon reading these comments, I've no doubt that West Ham will sign players in January. I just don't think they're going to be here anytime soon. But like I said, with the fixtures and the way they land, surprisingly, I'm okay with that. Do I have confidence that we're going to get what we need? No. I will admit I'm a little concerned to some extent. I think it's just what he said over the last few weeks and stuff like that. I think we'll get 1 or 2 players in. I think at least one player will be good and go into the starting 11 on paper. But I've just not got the confidence, if you like. I'm a little bit concerned by just stuff he said, that perhaps it's we'll wait till the summer for player X or player Y, and that means in January we're going to miss out. However, one thing we do have in our advantage, we've got no domestic loans, so if there's players available on loan from other Premier League clubs that we can get in 2, so that's a big tick. The one thing we have to be wary of though is the Europa League squad. Now I was going to do a video about the Europa League. I still might do it, but I think I've missed the boat a little bit. It was just about how much money West Ham have earned from the competition and when the games are, blah blah blah, how the draws work, blah blah blah. I was just going to do one of them, but I haven't. But this is what I was keeping for them, and that's Europa League squad, because as it stood, the squad we've registered has got no spaces for non-homegrown players. There's some spaces for homegrown ones, but not homegrown ones. So let's say Jonathan David, for example, you can only make 3 changes to the Europa League squad. Now one of them is going to be Ogbonna. We know that Ogbonna's out for the season. He's going to come out of the Europa League squad. It means we can put someone else in there as well. But that only leaves space for 1 foreign signing. And I know people say, well, get Yarmolenko out. But can you see West Ham and David Moyes bringing in 2 players and leaving Yarmolenko out the Europa League squad, with West Ham paying him £100,000 a week to not be in the squad for the Europa League? I can't see it myself. Yes, I know we want to move Yarmolenko on along with a couple of others, but it's all very well wanting to. You need someone to buy them. I feel like we wanted to in the summer after a pretty good Euros for Ukraine, Yarmolenko, and we still couldn't do it. So I'm not sure why we'd move him on now when he's had quite a poor season. Do you know what I mean? I think it's got more difficult to sell him, give him away in January than it was in the summer. So the Europa League squad is something that we've got to consider when approaching these players in January transfer window. I wonder if that will come into the strategy for West Ham. It kind of has to, doesn't it, to make good business sense. But anyway, there you go. David Moyes' comment. Nothing too a little concerning as far as I'm concerned, but nothing I didn't expect. I think Moyes is simply trying to manage expectations. That's not always a bad thing. As long as we actually do business. So anyway, I might make a wish list video next, you never know. But I'm going to disappear now. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new around here, and the title of my video worked, didn't it? Happy days, catch you in a bit.